Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here from New Jersey Exposed. Today is Sunday, July 24th, 2022. Time is 6:15 p.m. Jersey time, and the temperature is about 93 degrees out here, and the humidity is sweltering, but I'm not complaining. Okay, so we got an update on one of these blue diaper thug cops. You know, the bad ones. If you haven't heard the story, we had that officer not too long ago. It was a sergeant who was getting a little rough with a prisoner. They arrested somebody. He was in the car with handcuffs on him, and this thug cop went over there, sergeant went over there to intimidate him and threaten to spray him with pepper spray. And we had a good cop, a female cop, a good cop. Well, at least she was a cop doing a good thing. Came over and grabbed that sergeant, who was probably twice her size, grabbed him by the belt in the back of him and pulled him away. And he turned around and grabbed her by the neck. And here we are. So it's taken how many months now to get a resolution on this? Okay, so here it is. This is on local10.com. This came out on July 21st. Reads as follows: Sunrise Police Sergeant who grabbed fellow officer's neck arrested and charged. My question is, why does it take so damn long to charge the SOB? I mean, you could get a five-year-old could sit down and look at that video and in 2 seconds have a conclusion what happened here. So I guess they probably looked at that video and wanted to try to figure out how they could rewrite the narrative, maybe try to spin it, whatever. And I guess they couldn't because the thing went viral. Okay, well anyway, there's the article right there. All right, let's find out what it says. It's out of Sunrise, Florida. A Sunrise police officer caught on video putting his hands on another officer's throat was arrested Thursday on multiple charges, including battery on a police officer. Isn't that like a mandatory sentence if you do something like... Now, I already see what's going on here. They're going to give him several things here. So he's what? He got multiple charges, including battery on a police officer. Christopher Police 47 was also charged with tampering with evidence, plus separate charges of assault on an officer and assault. Now, they're going to make a deal here, no doubt. If this will get pleaded down to something. He's not going to prison, folks. But hopefully that officer out there that grabbed him off, maybe she can sue him. Police bonded out of the Broward County Jail Wednesday evening, but did not answer any questions while running from Local 10 News cameras. Oh, he's not so tough now. He was pretty tough when that guy in the handcuffs in the back of the cop car, he was pretty tough with him when he got in his face and threatened to spray him with pepper spray. He was very tough. Now he's running like a little pussy. The incident in question happened last year on November 19th, and the body camera video surfaced in January. Again, why did it take so long for that video to get out? Officers were called to a convenience store along Sunset Strip. They say Jean Bernard Smillian battered several people, and officers were trying to place him in a patrol car. According to Sunrise Police Chief Anthony Rosa, Smillian was resisting officers. Rosa went on to say in a written statement that once the suspect was inside the patrol vehicle, the sergeant approached and engaged in a verbal altercation with the suspect in a manner that I feel was inappropriate and unprofessional. Well, there's an unwritten rule that if cops have to chase you or they have to fight around with you to get you to comply, you're going to take a shot. And I guess this cop here, you know, he's old school, so that's what he had to do. Only he forgot that he was so angered that he didn't remember that maybe there's video cameras, there's body cameras going on around here. The supervisor escalated the encounter instead of de-escalating an emotionally charged situation. Well, this is what's training your cops out there. You got a bad cop out there, and the up-and-coming officers look at him, oh, well, if he can do it, I must be able to do it. Rose also says, while speaking to the suspect, the sergeant is seen holding his can of pepper spray, but didn't use it. That's when a nearby officer who was concerned with things escalating further intervened. In the video, she can be seen running the police, grabbing him by his belt, pulling him backwards away from the suspect inside the police vehicle. Police then turns and aggressively grabs the officer by the neck while pushing her backwards. Sergeant Police is then seen on video going back to the squad car and slamming the door before pointing and yelling back at the officer who was trying to de-escalate the situation. Police was relieved of duty following the incident. Sunrise Police released a statement following police arrest Thursday evening. It reads in part, Sergeant Blaze has been on administrative leave throughout the course of the investigation. See, notice they leave out that one little detail. Was he being paid or not? Anybody want to flip the coin on this one? I know what I'm going to go for. I'm going to say he was getting paid. Further determination regards to the employment Sergeant Police will be made in accordance with the Florida State Statute, Due Process and Collective Bargaining Agreement. See, you got to say collective bargaining agreement. This is where the state, the employer, us the employer, taxpayers, go meet with their union representative. And this is when you get frustrated, why is the cop fired, why did this, why did that? Well, I'm sure if you go look at the agreements that they made with the union, you'll find your answer right there. The sergeant is accused of intentionally touching or striking the female police officer against her will, assaulting her by holding pepper spray to her face, and assaulting the civilian male by holding pepper spray to his face, it said. How about official misconduct? If convicted, the maximum possible penalties are 5 years in prison for felony battery on a police officer, 1 year for assaulting a law enforcement officer, and 60 days for assault on a civilian. The statement went on to say that police is also accused of tampering with evidence, his cell phone, in January of this year. Convicted, the maximum possible penalty is 5 years in state prison. Well, I don't know why they don't give him official misconduct. We never know why anything, right? Because we're not the ones signing the complaints. But, you know, I said this in the original video. I'm pretty sure I did. I say it in many videos. If I go to work and I have a problem with one of my fellow employees and I grab him by the neck, grab her or him, particularly her, if I grab her by the neck and I'm twice her size and I grab her aggressively and get in her face and threaten her, I don't get sent home on administrative leave. I get fired. Period. Fired. Out the door. No explanation, no excuses, no investigation, no let's rewrite the narrative. I would be fired. Would you not be fired? Of course you would, but not with the Blue Heroes. You know, not them. They're special. They don't get treated like us, and this is a good example of why we have bad cops. If that video had never gone on the internet, that cop would probably still be sitting in a police car perpetrating his violence on people. But fortunately, there was a video, it got circulated, and that puts the chief in an uncomfortable position because now he has to do something about it. And I'm sure he doesn't want to do something about it because you got a sergeant and you got a police chief. They've been working together for years. They're probably butt buddies. They probably hang out at the bar together, have drinks together. They probably hook up with the same badge buddies. I don't know this to be true. I'm just saying things. I have no basis for there's no truth in it that I'm aware of. It's just my opinion. So this cop, the minute this happened and the chief was aware of it, this cop should have been fired. He should have been sent home. You're not getting paid. Go home. And I'm surprised that this cop hasn't resigned. Try to get out of it. But he hasn't. But they got him on video, so he's screwed now. Or imagine if you went and grabbed the cop by a female cop by the throat and got aggressive. What do you think would happen with you? You'd be in handcuffs and you'd be hauled off to jail, and you'd be sitting there with bail on your head, and you'd be looking at 5 years in the pokey. I'll be willing to bet nothing will happen with this cop. He'll probably get probation. He'll give up his job. He won't become a police officer again. And let's see, what's the other stories that they come up with? He'll apologize and all the other nonsense, and make a little deal, and he'll probably, I don't know, maybe 90 days in jail, maybe, if that. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to get any jail time. I think it's going to be probation, 5 years. He'll have to go get, I'm surprised he hasn't signed up for anger management course yet. And I'm sure he's going to come out when they go to court. He's going to have all kinds of excuses as to why he did what he did. You know, I'm always, whenever I hear problems arise, whether it's in my own personal life or stories that come out about bad cops or anything, I always wait to hear the excuses. There's always an excuse attached to a problem. That's correct, and I'm guilty of doing it myself, but, you know, I never thought about it. I read a book by Dr. Wayne Dyer called Excuses Be Gone, and I read this book. I've read many of his books, but I read that book, and it opened my eyes to all the excuses that people have. If people just, you know, if that cop could just come up and say, you know what, I screwed up, man. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that to her. You know, I'm a guy, and I'm twice the size, and she was right, and I was wrong, but no, he won't do that. They'll have all kinds of excuses, and hopefully he won't get his, there'll be no pension for him, and he'll be done. But again, he should be fired. He should be fired. He should have been fired the minute the video came out. He couldn't hide it. There was other cops around, and you know, as far as the good cop, she did the right thing. And I'd be curious to know what happened to her. How many threatening phone calls did she get? How many hate emails, hate letters? How much harassment did she get for what she did? But, you know, maybe down there's some good cops that turn around and said, hey, that ain't cool what you did, Sergeant. So, anyway. All right, so we got a bad cop that got caught beating up on a fellow officer, and he's got himself a big problem right now. I'll put the link in the description for the story. You can go read it if you want. Really don't have nothing else to add to that. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Gunnison Undercover. I've been posting many stories. Every day I read the story, I read the headlines, I do the search. I do the same Google search every day. Police officer charged. And every once in a while I do police officer sentence. And this does not get all of them. It just gets probably the top stories. And what I'm doing is I'm posting those links on my Facebook page, and you can go right there. So if any one of your blue gang sympathizers out there, you know, the badge bunnies, the Ulster sniffers, the blue diaper changers out there, you know, back the blue people out there, they want to give you some crap about how good the cops are. Well, you can point out to them how bad they are too. And when they tell you, oh, you know, there's bad in every bunch, and as my response is, well, I'm focused on the bad ones, because the bad ones is what's hurting people and costing taxpayers millions of dollars every year. And let me tell you something, people, those blue diaper bums out there, they don't like me talking. They don't like me talking about bad cops, and they're using the same old tactic. Oh, he hates cops. He's bad cop. He doesn't like cops. He's talking about cops all the time. He's bad-mouthing them. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing. But they always fail to tell you, well, he was talking about a story of a cop being arrested for molesting a child or downloading porn or beating a fellow officer up. So those are little things they fail to tell employers or friends. And when they get in my face and they say, oh, why do you hate cops? I hate bad cops. Do you like bad cops? You know, that's how you respond to them. If you got anybody give you some crap about, oh, you hate cops. Well, you must like bad cops. That's how you respond to them. You like bad cops. And they say, no, I don't. Well, I don't dislike police. I dislike bad police. I am here to support good police, and I am here to expose the bad ones. No more covering up. Put the stories out there. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbor. Put the link on your Facebook, whatever you want to do. Put the stories out there. You got to take a little risk. I know some of you out there don't want to take the risk. You just want to hear me flap my jaws, and that's that. You know, you look at the video for 5 minutes. Oh, it's a bad cop. All right. Let me go over to the other channel there and see if I can find somebody cussing a cop out while they were doing an audit. Well, we don't do that here. What we do here is expose bad cops. We're not going to give them a place to hide anymore. Put it on the internet. Simple as that. Use it to our advantage. They're using, you know, the gang is using the internet for they're using Facebook for their propaganda machine, so why shouldn't we? Just keep putting those bad stories out there and expose the bad cops and stand up to these blue gang supporters out there. You got to stand up to them. Don't be a pussy. Stand up to them. I'm John Van Dyke for New Jersey Exposed. Till next time.
November 19th, officers were called to a convenience store along the Sunset Strip. They say Jean-Bernard Similian battered several people and were trying to place him in a patrol car. According to Sunrise Police Chief Anthony Rosa, Similian was resisting officers. He goes on to say in a written statement, once the suspect was inside the patrol vehicle, the sergeant approached and engaged in a verbal altercation with the suspect in a manner that I feel was inappropriate and unprofessional. The supervisor escalated the encounter instead of de-escalating an emotionally charged situation. Rosa also says while speaking to the suspect, the sergeant is seen holding his can of pepper spray but doesn't use it. That's when a nearby officer who was concerned with things escalating further intervened. You can see her running to police, grabbing him by his belt, pulling him backwards. He then turns and aggressively grabs her by the neck while pushing her backwards. Sergeant Police is then seen on video going back to the squad car, slams the door before pointing and yelling back at the officer who is trying to de-escalate the situation. Chief Rosa says he's proud of the officer who is trying to intervene, praising her good leadership during a tense situation.
Weeks sent a letter to Chief Rosa wondering why Sergeant Police is on desk duty and was not arrested for his actions. And in that letter, Weeks also says that 410 individuals have pending cases in his office for battery on a law enforcement officer, and all were immediately arrested on site, claiming officers engaged in wrongdoing should not receive different treatment.